Good morning and welcome to church today. Whether you are joining us for the first time or you are here every week, you are so welcome. After travelling nationally and internationally over the last couple of weeks, Connect with Your Core is coming back to our local home core. And so I have the pleasure of welcoming Andrea Dring to Connect this morning. So Andrea, are you there and can you hear us?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us from your kitchen, I presume, this morning.
It's my kitchen.
So we know that you worship locally at Castleford Salvation Army, but some people might not know that you also are an employee of the Salvation Army. So would you start by sharing with us this morning how you started working for the Salvation Army and how that role has changed more recently?
I will. First of all, I'm very honoured to be in your list, your lineup of guests after you've had the CC, the General, and goodness knows who else. So I will do my best. I hope I have an appointment.
Never.
So I have made some notes, but that's to keep me on track. Don't panic. So really what you need to know is that life changed for me in a lot of ways around 2016. And to understand how God really did make things work together for good in my life, you need to know two things. The first is I was born with various eye conditions, which meant I was unable to drive. A lot of you will know that. And after years of visiting various eye consultants, I found one who was willing to take a bit of a risk on me. And the surgery worked, and to say that was miraculous to me, it is an understatement. It absolutely changed my life.
Wow.
And then in the same year, I was made redundant after working for 37 years at Yorkshire Bank.
Wow.
Matthew, you're not looking shocked enough because I know I don't look old enough. So an audit role then was advertised, working for the Salvation Army, but it was essential to have a full driving licence, and I didn't at that stage. So to cut a very long story short, I applied for the role, and I was honest. I explained all my circumstances, and I didn't really expect to get an interview, even though people were praying about it. So not only did I get an interview, I got the job, and I started in May 2017. With a requirement to pass my driving test within 6 months. And I actually passed my test in June 2017, thanks to my excellent driving instructor, James Clayton, who taught me well, and he just seemed very happy to listen to me chatting for 2 hours each week. Drove around Wakefield, the poor man. But there we go, it worked. So I absolutely love working for the Salvation Army. And before COVID, I was out and about visiting lots of core and lots of centres across the UK and doing some amazing work and meeting some exceptional people. And I think the change for me is I did go on furlough for 1 month, but then I was called back to work. But I'm really missing being out and about. I am being kept busy and put to good use. Working from home, but I'm really missing visiting people and places. So that's the change recently.
Yeah, I definitely think you should have T-shirts printed that say, I have been audited by Andrea Dring, and then you can give one to me because I've been there. And
for a really, really good audit, I now give badges out, Emily.
Oh, so that's what I've got to aim for is a badge from Andrea.
Next audit, you'll get a badge saying superstar.
I will get my papers in order.
Yeah.
It's great to hear your testimony of how God's, you've seen his hand at work over a number of the last years, especially with your employment and your health and your eyesight. It'd be interesting to know, what have been some of the new ways that you've seen God at your work in your life over the last couple of months? And also what challenges that have you faced and how have you seen God's provision at work in those things?
That's a good question. I mean, I've been really fortunate during COVID. I've not suffered from it, and I have a job where I am able to work from home. So really, I've nothing to complain about. But there's always something, and I really wasn't designed to work home alone. So that's been a real challenge. I'm used to being out and about, meeting people, and being in new places.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but I do like a good chat. So missing socialising, especially with my Yorkshire Bank girls. And we used to socialise quite a lot.
Yeah.
So I've made the adjustments because, like I say, I've nothing really to complain about. But then God sent along an opportunity to be part of a small study group. And it is Bible-based, and we're looking at Philippians chapter 4, or we have been, we've just finished it. But that's also been an opportunity to connect, to share experiences, and basically to have a bit of a laugh as well, and a bit of chat with people. So I've gone from someone who was nervous about even using FaceTime to sort of having all my meetings and this group on Zoom. So I'm now a Zoom expert, really, which is why you've managed to persuade me to appear this morning. So, yeah, but it has been fabulous to connect with people. But I think what I've done is I've connected in a deeper way with this lovely group of people, and that was just what I needed.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, we know, and anyone that worships at Castleford will know, that one of your amazing spiritual giftings is encouragement, and we appreciate that so much from you in our church family. And so we're going to ask you to just extend that at the moment and share with us some scripture or music with us that has spoken to you most recently.
This was the hardest question because it's so difficult. I'm sure you'd agree to narrow it down. If I ever do finish talking this morning, which I promise I will, we'll be listening to a beautiful song called I Choose to Worship, which I came across last week. Now, I have been singing along to it in my kitchen, but rather than inflict that on you, the very talented Becky Price, which some of you will know, has recorded it, and she's done it especially for us this morning. So an extra thank you to Becky for doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the line that struck me in the song was, when the enemy says I'm done, I lift my praises. And I think the reason it struck me is it's linked into what we've been studying in Philippians, which tells us not to be anxious and to take every situation to God, and that's good or bad, with thankfulness. Now, that is a tall order. So that's why that line in the song struck me. I think my all-time favourite Bible verse, and those who know me well could tell you this straight away, is Philippians chapter 4 and verse 13. But it has to be from the Amplified Bible, and you'll see why. And it says, I can do all things which he has called me to do through him who strengthens and empowers me to fulfill his purpose. I am self-sufficient in Christ's sufficiency. Now, this is the bit that I really like and hold on to. I am ready for anything and equal to anything through him who infuses me with inner strength and confident peace. And I just absolutely love that final phrase.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. I feel like the amplified version of the Bible needs to be done with like a megaphone, though, don't you?
You're such a good encourager. You're such a good encourager of so many people, Andrea. I hope you can see some of these comments coming in. Carol Barlock and John Smith, loving to hear your story. Sharon saying that it's fantastic to see and hear you, and thank you for who you are, how much of a blessing and encouragement you are. Some of our local church family, Catherine and John and Nancy, saying that you are such a big part of Castleford. We're so grateful to hear your story, and you sharing, an amazing testimony of what God has done in your life. And there are a few more to come that I'm sure will appear on the screen as we go. Now, normally every week we say...
and say that you are to me as well, so thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Normally we would say at this point, we'd like to take some prayer requests because we have a praying community at Castleford. And actually, normally what I'm expecting at that point is you're sat behind your computer screen with a notebook ready to write down the prayer requests that are coming in through Connect. So actually, it's our turn to do that for you this week, Andrea. So what can we pray for you?
I did give this some thought, and I think really what you could pray for is that I keep maturing in my faith. Obviously not with my sense of humour, but yeah.
Obviously.
No, we won't go there, no. But maturing in faith, and that I know the right choices to make when people and challenges and opportunities come my way, I think that, you know, those who are highly spiritual would call that discernment. But I would just like to know what the right choices are, and that I keep maturing in my faith.
Amazing. So if you're watching, make sure you pray for Andrea's faith to mature, but not her sense of humour, because we don't want you to change in that respect. Thank you so much for joining with us, Andrea, this morning. And we're now going to listen to I Choose to Worship by the very talented Becky Price. Thanks, Andrea.
Thanks, Andrea. See you soon.
Bye.
I choose to worship, I choose to bow. Though there's pain in the offering, I lay it down. Here in the conflict, when doubts surround, though my soul is unraveling, I choose you. Fire, through the storm and through the flood, there is nothing that could ever steal my song. In the valley, you are worthy, you are good when life is not. You will always and forever be my song. I build my altar right here and now. In the midst of the darkest night, it won't burn out. For you are perfect, no matter what. In the joy of the suffering, I sing it loud. I will praise you through the fire, through the storm and through the flood. There is nothing that could ever steal my song. In the valley, you are worthy, you are good when life is not. You will always and forever be my song. When the enemy says I'm done, I lift my praises. When my world comes crashing down, I lift my praises high. Till the darkness turns to dawn, I lift my praises. I choose to worship, I choose you now. When the enemy says I'm done, I lift my praises. When my world comes crashing down, I lift my praises high. Till the darkness turns to dawn, I lift my praises. I choose to worship, I choose you now. I will praise you through the fire, through the storm and through the flood. There is nothing that could ever steal my song. In the valley, you are worthy, you are good when life is not. You will always and forever be my song. When the enemy says I'm done, I lift my praises. When my world comes crashing down, I lift my praises high. Till the darkness turns to dawn, I lift my praises. I choose to worship, I choose you now. I choose to worship, I choose you.